Hey there. So, what a great day to be out on the road, out in the west, just past Grants Pass, Oregon, heading north to Eugene. And man, gotta tell you, it's just great time to be hauling RVs, I tell you. So I've been doing this only since December 1st, when I did my orientation, December 1st and 2nd. As soon as I was cleared to go after we got done with orientation on the 2nd, I went straight to the yard, picked up my first trailer, and started heading west with it. And I've been out roaming the west ever since, over the last, I don't know, it's probably been about 5 weeks or so. So I got a 35 footer on the back right now. It's a repo heading up to an auction yard up in Eugene. So, this has been quite the journey so far. I've learned a lot about myself, learned a ton about hauling RVs for sure, as far as a business goes. And just living out of my truck here. You're probably wondering what this contraption is in the slider window in the back, and that's my diesel heater that's in the bed of the truck. But we'll get into that on another episode. I plan on doing some videos, showing you my truck, showing you what works, what doesn't work, at least for me anyways. I know everybody's kind of got their own thing, how they do stuff, so I'm just going to show you how I do things. I'm not saying that my way is the best way or the better way or whatever, but watched a lot of videos before I got started in this, and I continue to watch videos of other transporters and what they got going on. And for me, this setup works the best. So I'll be showing you guys some video on that, and my why, as far as why am I doing this. It started out, it was just going to be a job, a means to an end, making money, all of that. And it's become a whole lot more. I've been able to reconnect with family, old friends from high school. I just hit them up, when I know I'm going to be in the area, go catch lunch, go catch dinner, stay the night so I'm not sleeping in the back here, and just getting to catch up. And so it's been pretty amazing so far, about 5 weeks into it is all. So look forward to sharing a lot more on this platform. I want to document, my journey along the way of, doing all this and sharing it with whoever wants to see how somebody else is doing it, because everybody does it a little bit different. And I'm not planning on getting into the money side of it. I know a lot of people watching, and I know I was guilty of that when I was first checking it out, just seeing if the money was, going to be good enough, for me to leave my job in the drilling industry to just go hit the open road and pulling trailers all over the place. It was kind of a leap of faith for me. I wanted to make sure, am I going to be able to cover my bills and create some lifestyle for myself. And a big thing for me was the opportunity to be able to be home more than what I was, able to be when I was working, for a drilling company. So I was only home about 8 days a month when I was doing the drilling thing. And my first month, being December, I was home, a couple days longer, I think. I was home 10 or 11 days in December. Really tried to just stay out on the road as much as I can, being that I decided to leave my safe, secure job, with a really good paycheck, to go into an industry being RV transport that, is probably the worst month possible going into December, starting out here, right? But I do got to tell you, I was able to, be out on the road pretty much as much as I wanted to be, needed to be, to cover my expenses for the month. So was able to keep my head above water in that regard. Still squeezed a couple extra days off than what I normally had. I wasn't expecting to be home much at all, except for like maybe Christmas or so. But I was able to be home a little bit more than that, which was nice. And January, here we are halfway through, and I've just been blowing and going, and I've had a whole bunch of days off already, going into, I had a trailer on the back of my truck that I picked up on the 31st of December, and the Camping World where I was taking it to Southern California, the gal that does the deliveries and inspections on the trailers when they come in, took Friday the 2nd off. I was kind of anticipating being able to get down there, drive down on the 1st, drop off the morning of the 2nd, and head home, or to my next trailer or whatever. And that wasn't the case. When I called ahead on the 31st, she said that she was taking an extended weekend and wouldn't be in until the following Monday. So I got a few days off at home, right there, just starting the year out. Not a big deal. Kind of much needed to be able to check, just handle some stuff on the home front, really. Because I do have a small cattle ranch. It's a little family affair that I got going with some registered Red Angus. So it was good to be able to be home to take care of some stuff that need to get done around the ranch, and then back on the road. So, as of right now, it's just, I'm just going and going, and I'll be hopefully heading home either Friday night, more likely it'll be Saturday when I'm actually leaving, because I'll be grabbing a trailer up here where I'm dropping off, so I'm going to have 0 deadhead miles on this trip, which is absolutely awesome, because cruising around the West, there's a lot of deadhead miles typically, especially this time of year, from what I'm seeing, that there's just not, there's just not the premium loads, everything to pick from, or be able to construct, your trips to where you can do like what I'm actually doing on this trip right now, to be able to drop off and pick up in the same yard. So that's pretty exciting. You know, I'm stoked about that one, because I've definitely taken it on the chin on some deadhead miles on other loads for sure. But yeah, stick around. You know, we're gonna be covering all kinds of cool stuff on these trips. You know, I'm not gonna just be a talking head all the time. You know, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm gonna learn how to do editing as soon as, you know, I get stopped for the night. I'll do some editing and start getting some things put together, you know, as far as building this channel and learning along the way. So don't beat me up too bad on that. This is the very first go at this one, and we'll start playing around with getting into B-roll and whatever else, you know. I'm not going to get too crazy with it, but we'll figure out a format and just kind of have fun with it and keep it organic and all of that. Play around with the drone, do some stuff, maybe some pictures, you know, still photos of stuff that I see along the way, if I can get a good picture of it. Like my first trip out here to Oregon, I was coming from Pendleton, heading into Northern California, and got some really, really awesome pictures of Mount Shasta on 2 separate trips. Actually, I got really good pictures, so you know, I'll share some stuff like that. You know, so you know, you know the drill on like, subscribe, comment, please. You know, by all means, I'd like to hear your input. You know, if you're a transporter yourself, if you're a wannabe transporter, you know, looking at possibly getting into doing this thing, you know, I'll try to be diligent about checking messages and responding to everybody. So, at any rate, I don't know how often I'll be putting videos up. Hopefully, at least one a week is what I'd like to do. Maybe more, we'll see. You know, I'm not planning on being on the road 24/7 like some guys do. Met one driver, he goes out on the road anywhere from 3 to 5 months at a time before he heads home. And I know that's not me. I mean, this really is just a means to an end for myself. You know, I do have the cattle operation that we're still building on that, and I also have a leather shop out at the ranch that I'd like to launch that, you know, from just been making projects for family and friends and whatnot for a lot of years. Built a world-class shop over the last couple of years, and I'd like to be able to spend time in there and build that up as a business as well. That way I can, you know, come out on the road, do this a little bit, and be home most of the time is the plan, doing that. So, you know, while I'm out here on the road, I'd like to be able to share with everybody and kind of build community with that. So, at any rate, I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Keep the rubber side down, and until next time, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it.